Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, Miss Nancy Jensen from Houston, Texas. Thank you for being here.
I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm like so thrilled that you're here and you're going to share your story with us. And for everybody who's watching right now, Nancy is amazing. She's been part of our Whole Journey tribe for many years now, and she is a recoder. She is a 50-year-old mom of 4 children, bless your heart, and a business owner. So she is a busy lady. Nancy, I'm going to let you introduce a little bit about yourself and your family before we dive in.
Okay. Well, you kind of tapped on the edges of it, but so I have a 23-year-old and a 20-year-old and then 2 18-year-olds. I'm married and we've lived in Seattle, Denver, New Zealand, and now Houston.
Yes.
I've run a cafe in New Zealand. I sold jewelry and some supplements, homeschooled, and now in Houston, I'm just finishing my, well, actually, I am a functional medicine health and wellness coach, and a lot of that is because of the work that I've done with you, Krista. So a lot of inspiration to go for it.
That's
so that,
so amazing. Yeah. It helps me feel like I'm spreading the mission, and so thank you for that.
You taught me how to fish.
That's what it's all about, right? No one can do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about your health transformation because I asked you to do this because you have one of the most powerful yet common health transformations if you're willing to dive in and do the work, right? And I'm so excited for where you are now. And so I'm going to ask that you tell us a little bit about what was going on with your health before you started to work with us, because I know you found us, you said around 2013.
Yeah, we had just moved to New Zealand and it was super stressful. I didn't know really what was going on. All I knew is my stomach was a mess. Honestly, I would eat a salad and my stomach would distend. And I was very weight conscious, was a gymnast growing up. And so that psychology was there about not being thin enough, good enough, all of that. But I didn't know it. I didn't know that that was at play. So just desperate. And one night in New Zealand, out of desperation, I got on the internet and was looking up just gut problems. Just had to start somewhere. And it happened on you and your television shows. And I just sat up and I just watched. I mean, I should have been asleep, but I also had insomnia, so I couldn't sleep either. I was nervous all the time. So it was just a kind of a mess of a tornado, and watching your information just it enlightened me to that this gut thing was probably the crux of it all. And I didn't really realize, but I, looking back, realize now that's where all my emotions are stored. Like, so if I feel it in my body, the nervousness, anxiety, or whatever, it locks down in my stomach. And I think that that's what was happening.
That's the weak spot. So when we talk a lot, now we're talking a lot about TAG disorder, right? Thyroid, adrenal, gut disorder, and that most humans have some variation of this, and some are worse than others. But so you're like a kind of a classic type G, where it started in your gut, and then that tagged your thyroid, right? You stopped converting thyroid hormone, and you started gaining more weight, and that really triggered the anxiety as a gymnast and all of that. And so I know you said you went on the ketogenic diet. And it worked for you for a little while, right? And then it just dead stopped with the weight and hair loss and anxiety and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so it's really fascinating. And so things kind of continued to get worse because they seemed like you were kind of looking for a Band-Aid without understanding the big picture. Would you say
exactly
that? Okay.
Especially all of the hype around the ketogenic diet. I mean, at the time it was, I guess last summer, maybe it was, and or maybe it was 2 summers ago now, but it was just why did it work? And then all of a sudden it didn't work. And I was exhausted and shaky and sick feeling again.
Anxious, and you kind of felt like you lost all the healing work that you had done.
I did. My hair was, I had bald spots, and who wants that?
No. Yeah. Talk about the emotions, of how you felt with all this. Cause it's like, I
Mm.
can tell that you're a very driven person. And I mean, you're a mom of 4 kids. Like, how did that affect your relationship with your kids, your ability to run the business, like the cafe in New Zealand, your ability to be studying functional medicine, right? Because it's like you're going against the wind with your health, but yet you still have all these life responsibilities.
The emotional piece of it, in the quiet of my own space and thoughts, was that I'm a fraud. Like, and so there would be negative self-talk a lot. Fraud meaning, yeah, I was studying all, functional medicine, following people, learning so much, advocate for health and wellness, exercise, of the whole bit. And yet I would snap at my family, and I was very distant emotionally from my husband and my kids. And I don't know how deep we want to go, but there were some really dark times where I thought, well, what's the point? And I couldn't come up with reasons that there would be the point, what the point was.
Yeah.
Except I thought, how inauthentic of me to say what's the point when I'm a believer in whole health and holistic health. So it was just the emotional part was in my own head, and I never felt like I could really be honest outwardly with anybody, because it didn't make sense. It wasn't making sense, which made it feed on itself.
Right. I so commend your your vulnerability, because how many people feel like that? It's like you have this variation of tag disorder where things are unraveling and you're feeling it from the inside, like doom and gloom, right? And then it challenges your sense of self. And so, yeah, what's the point is natural, because you're overproducing stress hormones, excuse me, and the cortisol. Like in the ketogenic phase, and then before you know it, you force so much of that now you've dropped down and you're not producing any. So there's the chemical perspective, biochemical perspective of depression there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse my tickle here. So okay, now let's talk about the ReCode and how it helped transform things. I really want to understand, like, what helped you decide to join.
Well, I had just come out of functional medicine, the coaching certification, and I knew, and I was stressed, that there was a lot of studying involved in that, and a lot of investment and time, and I could feel myself dipping down. And your program, once again, you meet me out of nowhere, totally divinely intervened, and I'm on, I don't even remember, on something, looking up something, you pop up, I don't know, and you give your spiel about it. And I just had I don't know, it's not a great answer, but it is an honest answer. I had this settling feeling, this message that was like, this is what you need to do next.
You follow your intuition.
Absolutely.
Yes. Which is so empowering, and that's what we say. Is it right for you? Is it going to work for you? We're asked people to check in with themselves, right?
Yeah.
You did that. That's pretty incredible.
And it was an honest directive, right?
Yeah.
The money part of it was probably the only thing that was like, gosh, I just got out of the certification where I spent a lot of money. I need to go make some money. Yeah. But everything in me, and the voice in my head was like, no, it's meant to be. This timing is this, you have to recover. And little did I know, I only just knew the little bit of the outline, but I trusted you. So that was a huge piece of it for me. But because you're science-based and research-based and your stuff. But what I loved about this piece of it was you were talking about the whole getting the adrenals back. And that was something that, again, intuitively, I was like, that's what's going on here. That's what's happening to me. But then you touched on the emotional piece. And I thought, okay, that's where I got really settled down inside. And I thought, we're going to go there, because they tie together. And to have complete healing, to be authentic in this, wellness, you have to have the whole picture. And
the whole journey.
The whole journey. Yeah.
The whole journey. It's true. And it's like, this is an idea whose time has come, right? Our emotions are stored in the body from our whole life if we don't expiate them. And so you have to do the physical work and the emotional work together in order to ascertain healing that lasts. Like, I feel you now as strong, confident, like have your own back. It seems like you trust yourself. Like, talk to me a little bit about your successes in your health transformation, because I know when we first got introduced to you, but back in 2015, when we first met, and to now, this is like this night and day transformation.
Oh, I would totally agree. Totally agree. And I was thinking about it before I knew that we were going to get on this call. Just how integrated and impactful your programs have been in my personal life, but that I've taken it and made it so. I mean, even down to the tongue scraper that I just used. I use it every day. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't even probably know they.
Yeah, but you show up, right? And I always say, like you said in the beginning, oh, you taught me how to fish, and that's it. That's all we could do is guide, and you've got to be willing to actually do the work in your own life. And I commend you, because you were, and you did.
Yeah, it was hard work, no doubt, and it was brand new stuff. And for anybody who has never heard of this, who knows there's something going on, they don't know what to do about how they're feeling, or if this is right, or the money's the issue. Or they get involved in it and then it gets hard, because it does. I think the biggest thing that's coming to my head right off the top of my head right now is the community support was in all of your programs that I've done, and especially the Adrenal ReCode. The way that it's set up is so authentic and supportive. When it gets hard, somebody's got your back. Not just one person. A lot of people have back, and you know that you can keep going. And in between those times, when you have to pull on your own bootstraps up, you have to do it yourself. It's just nice to know that you can reach out to other people the way that you have the community stuff set up. So that
when there's so many, sometimes it's way better than working one-on-one, right? Because you can go in there and you see, oh, wow, there's 100 other people experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing. And just that strength in numbers allows you to turn what could be a breakdown into a breakthrough. And I see that a lot in the ReCode.
Yeah. And being able to pour into other people, there's something energizing about that as well. I mean, we wouldn't just pour into other people to get something back, but it is this beautiful synergy that's set up. And I don't know how to.
Symbiotic. Yes, it's symbiotic. And that's the thing. When givers come together, I just get chills. And that's the thing. There's givers and there's takers in life. But then when a whole bunch of givers come together, it's the rewards for everybody are exponential. And I think that's what we've built here with the ReCode community.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this transformation, I'm seeing you 6 years ago from extreme bloating. You don't know what you can eat, right? A salad makes you bloat. You think you're making healthy choices, food sensitivities out the wazoo, that lead to energy issues, insomnia. You start gaining weight, you get anxiety, your hair's falling out. You think, is this a byproduct of aging, or what the heck is going on? And now, you are vibrant, beautiful, you've lost the weight, your hair looks beautiful. I mean, sleeping well. Like, tell me what's your health experience now?
Okay. Health experience now, you kind of, at 50, I'm amazed, because I've always had a tummy and I have abs. And I didn't do anything except the road. I'm not kidding.
I won't make you. Go ahead.
Right? I would, but yeah. No, I'm like, so much of it had to do with learning how to do the macros. And that sounds maybe more sciencey than is necessary right now, but like just knowing, okay, carbs to proteins to fats, like finding
your perfect balance of them for your unique health situation, right? Like, again, that's so important. Instead of just following something external, is relying on the feedback your own body's giving you.
Absolutely. And learning to listen to yourself. A lot of it is learning to love yourself and to accept yourself. And where am I now? I'm like, I even did affirmations when I never did before. I would look in the mirror and I would say, I love you. I believe in you. I trust you. And when I first started doing that, it was so hokey and uncomfortable. But now I buy it. Like, I buy my words to me, and the affirmations that I say, I'm not just doing it like, I'm rubbing my hands and just kind of hoping that it's for real. I don't know. There's something where I feel my body's going, like my body's going,
Yeah.
Thank you that you like us, or you like us again. Like,
you're in alignment. Mind, body, heart, spirituality. You're just in alignment in all ways, and everything's working. And it's obvious. Like, I think you ran a triathlon, didn't you?
I was just going to
say triathlon at the end of the ReCode. This is like amazing.
Yeah, I know. I was, and I even had an injury, and I would cite the ReCode and the way that the ReCode is set up for my healing that happened rather quickly. It was a torn Achilles, not all the way completely torn through, but it was torn, and I competed on it. And so I was shocked, actually, to find out, well, I ended up aging out of the group I had to compete with. So I competed with all you young 40-year-olds. And so out of the nation, I placed 7th with an injury. And so
that sums it up right there. Can you imagine doing something like that 5-6 years ago?
No.
Yeah.
And I said, I will tell you this. I was doing my workout next to a lady the other day, and she is 2 years younger than me. And I'm always hearing her talk about, well, I'm getting old. And she just talks kind of how in general we hear a lot of people talking, and I did too. I'm getting older, I'm getting menopause, everything's going downhill from here. And she just turned to me and said, how are you? And this sounds conceited of me, I don't mean it that way at all, but she said, how do you have so much energy? And I said, 2 things. One, I should have plugged Adrenal ReCode, but anyway, I said 2 things. I learned how to forgive and love myself.
Yeah.
Forgive other people. And the other thing is, 2 years ago, I thought I was dying. And I honestly, every time I get up now, I think how great it is to be alive. I have so much more gratitude.
It gives me chills, like how amazing it is just to exist, right?
Yeah.
If people could really feel like that, it'd be a different world.
Mm-hmm.
That's so moving. So moving. It's Nancy, it's just so incredible what you've done, and you healed your tag disorder. That's for sure, right? And so people that are listening, it's like, Nancy had tag disorder, and look how it had her life completely unravel, to the point of now she gets a whole nother start where it's like she's also 10 years younger, and so happy and empowered. Like, I don't think there's anything conceited about what you just said. You are just empowered with self-love, and as women, that's the best we can be. There's no ego in anything that you just said. It's just the way it is now, right? That's the transformation of loving yourself. And if we can all get that way, then how many hundreds or thousands of people are we going to positively affect just because of that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, let me ask you this. I mean, you kind of touched on it, but like, there's a lot of people that are going to invest in a program and they're not going to take action, and they might try it for a few weeks and then they might stop. And I know we kind of chatted before we started recording that in Gut Thrive, you kind of reached a point, back in 2015 where you could have kept going. And the ReCode, especially, there's a point where people are like, in the beginning, they're nervous, they're anxious, they're not sleeping, they're trying to wrap their brain around it. And, you kept going. And I love that. And you've even done the program twice now. So what decided what made you choose to keep going and not give up? What were the emotions around that?
The emotions around that were just, I think I said it earlier when we were talking, just take one more step and one more breath, and just hold on one more, just hold on one more. And that was my mantra. Just hold on one more what?
Like a fake it till you make it type of thing of like, I'm frustrated, but I'm going to work through it.
Sometimes I would pull out a journal and I'd force myself to write 3 things I was thankful for. And I would even be belligerent to myself and say, I don't feel like it, and there's nothing to be thankful for, and life sucks. Yeah. And I'd say, all right, flip those 3 things. And I would face off with myself. I would face off with
we all
like,
have to do that. We are all walking dichotomies, right? Like the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other. And it's whoever you identify with in the moment that wins, right? And so you want to turn the angel into the parent, I think.
Exactly. So I would find something good about everything bad that I was thinking about, and that flipped it on its edge. And then what I learned in the Adrenal ReCode with working with Chris and with Sweet Tamara is like it's okay to sit with fear. It's okay to sit with anger. It's okay to like give it space because it has something to say to you, and then you can let it go. Like it's not the enemy. I always thought it was. And, but yeah, to get through those hard times, it was through the Adrenal ReCode, learning so many techniques. If I didn't have one handy, I could try something else. And it was just, you give so many tools to deal with the emotional stuff that's going alongside learning how to eat right. Yeah. Because that's where it gets a little nerve-wracking, is you're trying to learn at the same time as you're trying to change. And in that in-between stage is that tug and that pull. And then you taught, honestly, how to breathe. That was a big thing, breathing and trusting a breath. Just trust a breath. Just getting really simple. And that is probably what got me through those hard times.
Okay. Now, people that are watching this, I know they want to know from you who's been through it, not from me. What is it like to go through a program that's so different? Because the Adrenal ReCode is different than anything else that is out there. And I know there's a lot of people that are considering joining, but they're struggling to decide because they want to know if it's right for them. So share a little bit more linearly about, what was your experience going through the actual course when you came in and you got the food list and we started, we really wanted you to check in with yourself and establish your baseline before we really got into manipulating all of the science of your macros and the foods. So what was that like? Kind of a couple points, modules 1 through 8, if you will.
Okay. I appreciated that you took it step by step. So many of these other programs that are out there, I mean, the quick fixes, let them go out the window, but there are some legit programs. But the thing that I love about Adrenal ReCode was there was a lot, but you broke it up into pieces that were understandable. And I loved mostly the freedom to feel. Yeah. I loved that your program and the way that you and Jeannie worked was about, there was just such freedom to feel and to just
and release, to feel and be able to release. Because I think so much of our society thinks that we need to hold on to certain things because it's not acceptable to feel certain things. And if it's not acceptable to feel the uncomfortable emotions, then you're not going to get the opposite end of the prism with the positive ones. And then you're not going to be able to truly tune into yourself to figure out what foods and combination of foods are right for your healing process, because that's the thing is we think, oh, do I have energy? But we'd stop and we'd have you check in. Is it energy? Or is it a buzzy type of anxious feeling? And to be able to drop to that level and understand like what your body's telling you allows you to take the next step in your healing process with the physical and the emotional.
Totally. And especially with women, we sadly, and I hope that it makes a turn in the next years to come, but so often we're taught by whatever, I don't know, society or something, not to feel and to just,
or that our feelings are crazy, right? That's what's not okay. To just blame it on menopause or blame it on getting your period or whatever it could be. It's like, no, there's emotions. We live, it's like an ocean, and emotions come and emotions go. And if we honor them, we learn from them, we take the lesson, and we learn to live more skillfully and artfully.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's project forward. So you're in an amazing place right now. You look good, you feel good, you're happy, you're grounded, you're balanced, your relationships are good with your family, you're building your dream career. Like, what are going to happen with your health as a result of what you've been through in the next 3 to 6 months?
Oh, the next 3 to 6 months. Well, my health. So I think just steady go forward. There's always something to tweak. For me personally, I've got my eyes set on focusing on sleep. That's kind of my next focal point.
Allow
And
yourself to sleep more and relax more?
yeah, I think so. I've got a big test coming up, a big exam, and following that, I'll just see what doors open beyond that. That's in the next 3 to 6 months. So to be honest, like this timing of our conversation right now is sort of, I'm 8 days away from taking a board exam, which is a little nerve-wracking.
Big deal.
Yeah. And its outcome will determine what I do 3 to 6 months from now. But I will say, because of what I've learned through Adrenal ReCode, honestly, really, I do yoga every day. I do breath work every day. I do meditation every day. And I learned that through the program, and it has kept me balanced. And so 3 to 6 months from now, I expect that I'll be stronger. I expect I'll be just holding steady. My weight hasn't changed since doing it. I told you I dropped.
How much did you drop on the program?
Probably, well, I did get some an in-body test, and I had no idea, but I dropped almost 10 pounds, and
you
I didn't
converted a lot of BMI too.
Yeah, and I got stronger. I don't know how else.
More muscle, and which is mind-bending to people, that you can eat more carbs and lose weight and gain more muscle because you're getting hormonal balance, right? And like, give the body what it needs, it will heal itself. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I just expect healthier, happier. Why not? I mean, just exponential. That's
exponential. That's it. That's it. You've got it. Yes. You're a skillful liver now. It's pretty cool. So, all right. So now for people watching, okay, the question that commonly comes up, we get these, like all these, I would say the 3 biggest questions is it right for me? Will this work for me? And do I have the time to do it? And, we tell them, what the program is all about and how much time it takes, but we can't answer those questions for them. Like, we can only answer it for ourselves. But what would you tell those people that have these questions looming and they're considering joining?
So is it right for me?
Will it work for me? And do I have time for it?
I think it works for everybody. I think something will work for everybody, and they will get something out of it, no matter what it is, no matter how long. You can't help but get something out of it. And is it right for you? I really, really believe that you'll know. Even if people aren't touchy-feely people, I just think that they know. And I think it's right on some level for every woman. If she's saying that she's not sleeping, if she's saying that her hair is getting thin, if she's saying her eyebrows are, she's having to paint them on, that she's jumpy, that she's snapped. Those are all indications that this is totally
order. Yeah.
And I don't remember what the last question was, right?
Well, that's kind of like, will I have the time to do it? And okay, the answer is you'll have the time if you make the time. It's kind of like when I would think, I don't have the time to go to a yoga class, I'm so busy, but then I would force myself, I'd go anyway. And then you have all the time in the world because you're grounded and you're in your relaxed state instead of that stress state. And it's so much easier to accomplish things in that state.
Yeah, I would say
you answer about the time, how did you have the time to do this as a busy mom of 4, as a business owner, as somebody who has so much going on, studying, becoming a functional coach? Like, how did you work in the time to do the ReCode and get all the benefits?
Well, I think I have to volley back to you into how you set up the program. It's so doable in its sections. It doesn't require, it's as much time as you want to put into it, because you can do a lot of research if you're that type of learner that you want to dig in more. But you guys have it set out to where it's broken down into bite-sized pieces and completely chewable, digestible.
Digestible. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fun.
it is.
Okay.
It's not too much. Week to week. Yeah, I don't know.
But
I think
why would you, you've been through so much in your health journey. And I know there's even more to the story that we're not going into here, and you've studied a lot of people, especially being a health coach yourself, and you've tested a lot of different things. Like, why should somebody choose the ReCode over all the other courses that are available out there?
I think because it hits the HPA axis. It ties the body to the mind to the spirit. That's a huge piece. That it is the whole journey. It is a holistic approach to health and wellness. Now, just to make that into like conversational words.
I want to define that, so the HPA axis being the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, where the ReCode works to balance your brain chemistry and heal your thyroid and heal your adrenal glands. And that then gives the hormonal directive to the rest of your body holistically. Yep. So as we start upstream and let the body create exact balance it wants to create for itself without manipulating anything on the back end.
Totally. Yeah. You can go to the bathroom again. I mean, like, come on. I talked
amazing. If you have constipation, you go to the bathroom again, it's pretty amazing, So yeah, thanks for saying that.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
But it's a big deal. Like, you're not holding on to anything anymore. It gets the hormones back, and it creates awareness in yourself. And it offers freedom at the same time. It's a bouquet of benefit. It's a bouquet of benefit.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so grateful you took the time and the energy and everything to come on and share your story. Thank you so much. I mean, for just that really amazingly nice Facebook message you sent me. And yeah, it's pretty incredible. It makes us all so happy that we do what we do.
Oh,
do you have any final thoughts for anybody watching? Is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to share?
That's kind of a question. People should know that you are completely trustworthy. There's no gimmicky thing about you. You are authentic. I've known you 5-6 years now. So and we've shared a lot. You're real. And that's very different than a lot of programs that are out there. You're not out to make a buck. You're out to change lives and to influence people for the better and change this world. And I feel privileged that I'm a part of it.
That feels really good to hear. Thank you so much. Like, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. I know we'll stay connected, and one day we'll meet in person.
We will.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is crazy, but when I looked you up in New Zealand and we were kind of doing that, I said to my husband, I said, one day I will meet her.
Yeah.
One day. That's it. So it's just amazing that here we are. So
here we are. Yeah, it was meant to be. This is so awesome. Okay, well, Nancy, I couldn't be more grateful, and I know people watching this has just been a game changer. Whether they join or not, I think you've really helped them look into themselves. And if you're struggling with your health and it's unraveling, then it's nice to know that if you heal it from the root cause, you can completely transform. Not in 2 years, 5 years, 1 year, like we're talking 10 weeks to get marked change. I mean, you have to continue, but really, if you're standing there and you're sad and you're depressed and you're gaining weight and you're losing your sense of self and you're losing your hair and your digestion, to know, could I really be on a completely different trajectory within 10 weeks from now? And you're just that you can be.
Absolutely can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you are awesome. Thank you so very much. And I know that we'll be meeting very soon.
Yeah. Yeah.